And that is part of liberty.
Wow.
Driving comes with a price. 50,000 people die on the road every year. Wow. That's a price. You get rid of driving, you'd have 50,000 less auto fatalities. But we have decided that the benefit of driving, speed, accessibility, mobility, having products, services, is worth the cost of 50,000 people dying on the road. Wow. So we need to be very clear that you're not going to get gun deaths to zero. It will not happen. Right. You can significantly reduce them through having more fathers in the home, yes, by having more armed guards in front of schools. We should have an honest and clear reductionist view of gun violence, but we should not have a utopian one. You will never live in a society when you have an armed citizenry and you won't have a single gun death. That is nonsense. It's drivel. Wow. But I think it's worth it. I think it's worth to have a cost of, unfortunately, some gun deaths every single year so that we can have the Second Amendment to protect our other God-given rights. That is a prudent deal. It is rational. Nobody talks like this. They live in a complete alternate universe.
This gentleman, unfortunately, was no value set to me personally. I have caught some of his rhetoric and commentary. Doesn't move the needle in my personal life, so I didn't really care. The nature of how he died, I do think is a little bit aggressive for the fact that we are at a state of affairs where people have an opinion, and because technology has allowed now for that opinion to spread rapidly, that invokes violence or potentially can invoke violence, whichever. So I'm saddened by the human life factor of that he lost his life in the manner. But what I'm seeing even currently on this panel is, when do we as the community fortify ourselves enough to not care about words moving our overall agenda and our stance in society? And I think Trigger touched on it. We ain't built crap to respect yet, currently. And I'm saying it from the standpoint of there's a lot of problems that we still need to fix, but we're concerned about the opinion of one man and then giving him, in my opinion, more power than he may have. I don't think what he has shared can really move the overall outlook of people and how they view us. I think how we view us is more important, as well as what we decide to participate in. And I don't get the sensitivity part of what he may think about marginalized groups, Black folks, whichever. It really honestly shouldn't matter. Opinions amongst the opposing demographic seem to give more weight in our talks, and I don't know why. If they don't like Black folks, so what? Yeah. I don't get it. And so, but I'll land there.
Real quick.
Go to Jasmine and then we pick up, because you got it, Jasmine.
You're fine. I'm gonna get out your way real fast because, like I said, I didn't know who Charlie Kirk was until yesterday, so I don't have much of a dog in that fight either. I don't follow politics, and I'm not one of those people that gets on a soapbox and speak on pretty much anything. Like, I have my beliefs, I have my things I stand for, and I just kind of talk amongst my family. And I have a lot of friends and stuff that are very outspoken in the Black community, and they stand up for things, and I see them around and stuff, even where there's protests and riots and things happening places. My only advice to them is always please armor yourself, put on, bulletproof vests, helmets, whatever you need to cover yourself, because there are people out here that don't like what you're saying. They don't like what you're talking about. And whether we all have opinions and whatnot, some people, like I said, will take it into their own hands and think that they can just kill somebody. So I don't want to ever see that happen to somebody I'm close to. Rest in peace to his family. I mean, my sympathies to his family, because I don't know, like I said, him personally, but I don't want to see that happen to somebody that I'm close to that is out here speaking out against things and saying things that could ruffle feathers of another community. So I just want them to protect themselves.
Listen, white culture is much more tactically trained than we are. I know Trigger Mike is a I
agree with you on that.
He's not the average. He's not the average, right? These people do that culture inside of their culture. There is a subgroup that just do that, right? White people, we got this thing in our community called when we say oh, you play with guns, Like, and that just mean that you active, right? That mean that you a shooter. We literally play with guns. We pick them up. We don't know shit about them. But we make it happen, right?
Are you saying that is it fear?
I'm sorry.
Both of them.
Are you just articulating fear because you know we're gonna lose?
No. I'm not articulating. I'm articulating why it's not a good decision.
No, yeah, that I was like, I'm never gonna align with.
Walker said if it pop off, what y'all gonna do? He ain't ask about if we're gonna be prepared if we're gonna lose. He's saying if it go left, you going right or you going left? I
got you. So this is the context. If the context is what's going on right now, I ain't started. That's the problem. Just like Dope Daddy said, pause. Just like he said, the people
it's
that's
okay. You
can
say daddy for another man.
The people that's making the most noise, they're gonna flee from the front lines. They not really about this. They just talking trash. Like literally, oh y'all come see me. Dog, when they see these people come out with chest plates on with
what you just said reminded me of this MLK quote. We know through our painful experience that freedom is never voluntarily given by the oppressor. It must be demanded by the oppressed. And also, Shakespeare has a quote that says, out of this nettle, we pluck this flower, safety. Out of this nettle of danger, we pluck this flower, safety, to know that all safety is an illusion. So if there is a race war or war on human rights, death is not a choice. It's going to happen. Mm-hmm. And even if you lose, even if you think that you're going to lose, you should. Well, I can't tell you what you should do, but I think it's. What are you going to do? Are you going to lay down and die, or are you like our ancestors? Some people chose to jump off because they said, "I'm not going to be subjugated." That's the perfect time to use that word. I'm not going to be subjugated. I'm not going to, allow this thing to happen. And it's like our country was founded on this, like, give me liberty or give me death. And so how can us as Black Americans, with all the privilege that we have of growing up in a country, like we as Black people were born in the best country that we could have possibly been born in, at the best time that we could have possibly been born in it. That doesn't mean that it doesn't have its own issues. But if something were to ensue or to happen, with all of this like pride and ego that we have and privilege, how could we say that? How could we say that we're not going to fight?
Because
hold on, let me
articulate how we have everything.
Me and him got a saying. You remember this?
Huh?
The value of our fraternity is not in numbers, but in men. I'd rather have 8 men thoroughly immersed in the true Omega spirit than 80 with lukewarm enthusiasm. I'm glad y'all go sleep.
Man, you really gonna use that? And she talking about literal war, but I got you.
Yeah, that's what
let me just say this, Kia. I actually disagree slightly with that quote. It was my frat brother, Martin Luther King, right? Mm-hmm. It's that you have to take your freedom, not demand it. I want you to understand that if white people are truly our oppressors, and everything we do it loudly, we do it boisterously. We don't do anything like, when you get your foot off my neck, I'm a F you up. That's the way traditionally Black people are. If you are going to threaten the person that got their foot on your neck, why they ever going to take it off? I want to introduce you to a Chinese proverb. Fight the enemy where they aren't. That's where you fight. And can I make a quick example?
You gonna fight him in Panama?
Hold on. No. This is what I'm saying. You know that the white man is not he does not run the middle class anymore. If you accumulate all wealth and you remove Jeff Bezos, Mark Zuckerberg, it's the Asian man. The Asian man took over this country silently. He used the banks to buy businesses. He invested in stocks and bonds, and now his family is more prominent than the white family in the white man's own country. That is how you fight your enemy. They can't do nothing to them. They are heavily insulated. If you try to persecute them, their lawyer's going to show up and use the white man's law against them. That's how you fight, and that's how we're supposed to fight.
See, Trigger Mike, you might not have a really understanding of this country, but these laws only valid while they decide to make them valid. At any moment, these people could change their mind, and it's free for all. And when you understand that, you won't put as much stock in that stuff. Because if the game really get flipped,
I got you, but what I'm saying is that if a non-white man can take over the white man economically in his own country, why are we going to act like it's not possible? It's been done already.
Yeah,
it's not a racial thing.
Well, I'm extremely anti-capitalism, so it's just I understand it's like, well, we could have more money, but I think just the system.
I'm saying Bo been waiting.
I'm sorry, Bo, go ahead. I'm sorry.
So, the things that I hear people say about this, just everything surrounding this. And this is not a slight to anybody on the panel. It's just that it sparked this thought. The way Black men overly simplify the things that are going on in this country. And when I say, and when people like me say his words have harmed people, I'm not talking about, he told people to go out there and do it. We're missing the fact that the things that are happening right now, the active things that are happening physically to us right now, they are harassing us daily. He's always said that we need more police. We need to put dads back in the household. All of these words that he's saying, this is a plan that was put in place decades ago, generations ago. We are sitting here talking about something that they planned a long time ago. The Southern strategy, I know y'all know about the Southern strategy. We're living the Southern strategy right now. The Southern strategy literally started with words. The only thing you need to do is put people's minds in a certain place, and you do that with words. The way you harm people, you start planting seeds long time ago. The very, hold on, because I had to bring it up because I perimenopausal brain. But anyway, the strategy has also involved directly promoting conservative views on immigration, taxes, social welfare programs, law enforcement, and states' rights. Every single thing that they keep talking about over and over and over and over, because the things that they were doing back then would not work right now. And their whole thing was always action back then. They could take a water hose and a fire hose, and clear us off the block. No problem. They can take a billy club and beat us. No problem. Ain't nothing gonna happen to them. And I'm talking about just outright for absolutely no reason. We were strange fruit. Nobody ever saw a day in either court or jail. These are things that they could actively do back then. But then they saw that they could not do that anymore. So then they started with words. They started planting seeds. They started telling people who we were, because they had to give us a reputation in order to continue to oppress us. That is what Charlie Kirk was still doing. And he is just a part in a system. The things that he was saying is not new. That is why I keep saying his words were extremely harmful to Black men, especially. He called y'all all kinds of names and y'all never heard it because of coded language. And I want y'all to realize that when I talk about a man like him, when I talk about a man like the carrot stick that sits in office and every other pasty white man that sits over there, I'm talking about the rhetoric that they spew out that allows people to think that you're nothing. You deserve nothing, and they're going to give you nothing except for their boot on your neck. That's what I be talking about. They planned this before you were even born, because nobody here was born in the 60s. They planned this a long time ago.
Trigger Mike, do you know what stochastic terrorism is?
Say that last word. I'm sorry. The first one.
Stochastic terrorism. Have you ever heard
I haven't heard that first word used before. No.
So it's a form of political violence instigated by hostile public rhetoric directed at a group or an individual. Unlike incitement to terrorism, stochastic terrorism is accomplished by indirect, vague, or coded language, which grants the instigator plausible deniability for any associated violence. A key element of stochastic terrorism is use of the media propagation, where the person carrying out the violence may not have direct connection to any of those who act on the violent rhetoric. So a while back, when we was having a conversation, I was talking about Joseph Joe Bells, and y'all was looking at me like I was crazy. This is what I was talking about. When you a specific feeling towards a specific group of people to people that are riled up and instigate those people, although you may not tell them to go out and go with your move, you telling them to go with your move. And I just peep stuff. Anybody that means me harm, I wish them death. And that's universal.
Yeah. So let me Charlie Kirk was very divisive, and he made actually a lot of incorrect, inaccurate, and unintelligent statements. One of the things that he did was he gave his interpretation of life events, and they were completely wrong. This is why.
And then 23 million the second year. So I didn't need college. That would be his response to that.
So that would be his response. What I'm saying is that he cannot make a brain smaller thing by the people who are making the fastest enrollment and education advancements in America. He didn't say that part. Like he wouldn't say that part.
But what's the strategy? Like when
we back frozen.
Are we frozen?
And I think that's me doing that because every time I say something about I'm gonna chill out. Because I guess I technically am stochastic terrorism as well.
Dang. What word? I mean, is there a buzzword?
I didn't say no words. Just coded.
Yeah, I was like, I didn't hear any.